Good day, fight fans, and welcome back to Pressure Point. Ilia Topuria is gearing up for a fiery return to the octagon, as Dana White drops a major hint about the lightweight champ possibly headlining the first UFC event under the new Paramount deal this January.
Everyone keeps asking you about the White House card, but I wanted to ask about the January card in Paramount, and what do you have anything special planned for that? When do you start putting that?
Literally today. Matchmaking was today, and we started working on the first Paramount card today.
I'm not expecting you to say anything, but do you think there's a chance Ilia Topuria could end up on that card? Big star.
It's a possibility.
The UFC boss confirmed that planning is already rolling, and Topuria could be the star of that debut card, setting fans on fire with anticipation.
What excites me more is the fight with Paddy. That fight excites me even more. And if they could put that fight in Spain, in the Bernabeu Stadium,
how many people?
80,000.
You get 8,000 in Spain easy too.
No problem.
Oh my God.
That's the only stadium in the world that they can close the roof.
That would be insane. I might have to go to Spain.
Topuria himself is buzzing with energy, ready to make his comeback as champion. Rumors are flying that Justin Gaethje might be his next opponent, but Ilia's eyes seem locked on something way more personal. A heated showdown with Paddy Pimblet in Spain, right at the iconic Bernabeu Stadium.
I think that it's going to be even bigger, me against Paddy, than me against Islam, because the one that no one gives a fuck about him, that's Islam. No one gives a even in Dagestan when he's fighting, the people goes to sleep and they watch his fight in the morning.
Despite their long-running rivalry and clear dislike for each other, Topuria admits that the idea genuinely gets his blood pumping. He insists this fight would be massive, the kind of event that electrifies an entire nation. For him, it's not just about defending his belt, it's about settling a score in front of a roaring Spanish crowd. Topuria even goes as far as saying that a clash with Paddy Pimblet would be way bigger than one with Islam Makhachev, arguing that Paddy brings unmatched hype and attention, while Islam, in his words, doesn't bring that same fire even in his own backyard. On the flip side, Paddy Pimblet isn't backing down. He's calling out Topuria right in his home country, saying he'd love to face him in Spain. In front of Ilia's own fans, Pimblet says the venue doesn't faze him one bit, showing pure confidence and a fearless drive to throw down with the champ anywhere, anytime.
I want to fight Ilia, whenever, wherever. I'd love to come to Bernabeu and punch your face in. You know what I mean? Do it in Spain, in front of your fake countrymen, because you're really German. You know what I mean? I'd love to come and punch your face in front of 90,000 people in the Bernabeu, in enemy territory for me, because the Bernabeu is a shithole.
Paddy Pimblet fires back, claiming that Ilia Topuria had it way easier on his road to the title. He insists that Topuria's opponents weren't nearly as tough as the ones he had to face, saying that timing and luck were on Ilia's side from day one. Paddy even argues that if he'd been given the same path, he'd already be wearing the championship belt around his waist.
I think Ilia had the easiest road to the belt. He had to beat Josh Emmett to get a title shot. Who did he beat? Ryan Hall, Josh Emmett, Bryce Mitchell. That was one of the easiest routes I've ever seen to a title shot. Michael Chandler had beat all of the people he fought before he fought Volk. And he wouldn't have beat Volk if Volk wasn't knocked out like 8 weeks earlier, 12 weeks earlier. You know what I mean? Everything's happened at the right time for Topuria, apart from when he fights me. If I didn't have to have these little times off these intervals and I had an easy route to the belt like he did, I would have been champion by now.
Meanwhile, Beneil Dariush stirs the pot by saying he's been hearing whispers that Justin Gaethje could be the one to face Topuria next. But Dariush also believes that the upcoming matchup between Tsarukyan and Dan Hooker should actually decide who deserves the next title shot. He adds that if Gaethje does end up fighting Topuria, it might completely block Paddy Pimblet from getting anywhere near the title picture.
Surely if Armin wins here, or Dan even, this pushes them up to the top.
Yeah, I would say that's a #1 contender fight for both the guys. I think that makes the most sense for one of those guys to get the title shot. I'm hearing rumors of Justin Gaethje, to be honest, getting the title shot. I don't know how true that is. We'll see how that goes, and so that leaves kind of Paddy out. So I don't know. I don't know what's next, but I think the people who are most deserving would be the winner of that.
Still, Beneil admits that the situation is unpredictable right now, and no one really knows what the UFC will do next. Tsarukyan, on the other hand, isn't buying the Gaethje rumors at all. He says he's convinced that Topuria is more likely to face Paddy Pimblet next, doubting Gaethje would even take that fight. According to our man, Ilia's mindset is locked on bigger things. He even suggests that if Islam Makhachev wins the welterweight belt, Topuria might chase history and go for a third championship instead of risking a dangerous matchup against him.
Каким ты видишь путь Топури в дальнейшем? То есть вот сейчас Гейджи, возможно, ему дадут под конец года.
Не, Гейджи не будет драться с Топури.
Это инсайт или это просто...
Не, это мое мнение. Мое мнение. А UFC может делать все, что хочет. UFC может поставить даже с дебютантом Топури. Но я думаю, что, скорее всего, это будет больше Pimblet даже, чем Гейдж. Вот. Я думаю, он защитит титул. Если Ислам выиграет титул, он перейдет на 7-7 и захочет стать тройным чемпионом.
С тобой боя?
Нет, со мной боя он не захочет, так как с Исламом он больше может заработать, и риск, что он станет тройным чемпионом первый раз в истории и заработает большие деньги. И если даже он проиграет Исламу, ну типа поднялся в 7-7, сейчас обратно спускает свой вес. У него есть отговорка, если он проиграет, что он поднялся на 2 весовые категории выше.
To make things even spicier, Beneil Dariush claims the UFC is protecting fighters like Paddy Pimblet. He says the promotion carefully avoids putting Paddy in front of dangerous opponents, unless they absolutely have no choice.
Because if it is Gaethje, you and Paddy would have been a great fight. Like, it would have made so much sense.
Yeah, I think so too. But to some degree, I think they protect some of their guys. Like, you know, they don't want me to spoil some of these guys. So I think to some degree they also have to, you know, unless they have to give me a top ranked guy, they don't want to give me a top ranked guy.
And Kamaru Usman isn't having any of it either. He flat out rejects the idea of Paddy jumping the line for a title shot, calling it totally unfair to guys like Arman Tsarukyan, who've actually earned their place. Kamaru Usman isn't holding back. He says fighters like Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker, Matthias Gamrot, and Beneil Dariush are way more deserving of a title shot than Paddy Pimblet. While he gives Paddy credit for improving, Usman doubles down that championships should be earned through merit, not through hype or social media buzz.
It's not Paddy's fault. Paddy has done a great job with the opposition he's been given to even put himself in this conversation. Paddy's done a phenomenal job. But if we're looking at the lightweight rankings, we've got Ilia Topuria, and I'm assuming next you've got Arman Tsarukyan. It makes sense. If you're not going to do a Justin Gaethje, I don't know why Islam is still there, but if you're not going to do a Arman Tsarukyan, or you're not going to do a Justin Gaethje, then, you know, like, yes, you've got Dan Hooker there. You've got Matthias Gamrot. You've got all these Beneil Dariush there in front of Paddy Pimblet. So to skip all of these guys to just give him a title shot, that kind of spits in the face of the merit of the best fights the next best.
But Paddy Pimblet isn't backing down 1 inch. He's confident and ready for a potential showdown with Ilia Topuria. He proudly points to how much sharper his striking has become, saying he's been dialing in his timing like never before. Still, Paddy insists his grappling is his secret weapon, comparing his ground game to how Khamzat Chimaev dominated Dricus du Plessis. He believes he can pull off that same kind of domination against Topuria if they ever meet inside the cage.
5 rounds in the bag there. I mean, striking time doesn't feel there at the minute, to be honest. Last week, my striking time felt good, and I've done 5 rounds with Luke, so it's just probably woke up on the wrong side of the bed today. Obviously, I've got to get that striking time better if I'm fighting El Chirizo. That's a lot what I'm going to work on, but my grappling always feels phenomenal. I just in them rounds, lad, when I get people on the floor, they don't get up, or they smother people. Like Khamzat against DDP the weekend, once I get you down and I'm on top of you and I'm smothering them, you're not getting up, lad. I'm controlling you. I'm making you feel my weight and making you feel some shots at the same time. That's the thing, lad, when I get on top of someone, you're not getting...
Meanwhile, Arman Tsarukyan drops a bombshell, claiming that Justin Gaethje actually turned down a fight offer after he personally asked the UFC for a top contender matchup. According to Tsarukyan, the promotion straight up told him that Gaethje wasn't interested, so he decided to keep things moving and accepted Dan Hooker as the next best challenge.
Для меня, если честно, все бои сложные, потому что столько тренировок, тренировочный лагерь, весогонка, потом тебе драться надо. Он высокий, конечности длинные, довольно хорошо стал защищаться от партера, встает хорошо, набрал неплохо. То есть, но то, что он не умеет бороться, вот это самое. Именно в вольной борьбе он защищается не так хорошо. Вот этими нужно брать. Но если бы я выбирал, я бы, конечно, выбрал бы Пимблета или Гейджи. С ними поудобнее, чем с Хукером. Так как Хукер очень высокий, с такими чуть тяжело драться. Тяжелее подойти, они на дистанции отстреливаются. Такие мерзкие удары ногами у него. Сдалека бьет типы хорошо. Для борцов чуть неудобные удары.
Arman admits that Gaethje was his first choice, but he boldly says either fight would be easy money for him. He even goes further, saying that Dan Hooker might be a tougher test than both Gaethje and Paddy Pimblet. He explains that Hooker's striking style gives wrestlers real problems because he's a master at keeping distance, throwing nasty kicks, and countering every move, making it a nightmare to close the gap.
So I was asking about the title fight, and they said this year Ilia he's not gonna fight, so that's why I said I'll fight to anybody because I haven't fought a long time, so I wanna fight. And then Hooker, Gagey, works for me, these names. And finally, Gagey, like I heard, like Gagey said no, and Hooker said yes, so we are in.
Okay, so was Gaethje the top choice?
Gagey would be better, but for me it doesn't matter. It's both of them. It's just easy money for me.
Meanwhile, the spotlight shifts to Ian Garry, who's gearing up for a massive fight against Bilal Muhammad at UFC Qatar. Gary's mission is crystal clear. He wants to finish Bilal and inch one step closer to that welterweight title. He's focused like never before, determined to prove he's not just another contender. He's the best welterweight on the planet. Ian Garry boldly declares that it doesn't matter who holds the belt, whether it's Jack Della Maddalena or Islam Makhachev, because he plans to take them both out eventually. He says his rise to the top is inevitable, and the world is about to see why he calls himself the future.
I'm going to finish Bilal Muhammad. That's my goal. That is my single one focus of this fight, is I want to go out there and leave it unquestionable that I am the single greatest welterweight walk on the planet, because they're going to be able to compare us over the last 7 days, right? From November 22nd to November 15th. They're going to be able to compare us all. I want everyone to say that I look the best. And whoever wins that belt, Jack or Islam, I don't mind. I really don't have any preference. I'm going to fight both of them eventually, I believe, because I believe both of them are going to be up and around the top of the division for a long time. I am going to fight them wherever, whenever, and I will punch a hole in their head, because there is nobody in this planet stopping me from getting that belt wrapped around my waist. We are this close, Ariel, to succeeding in that takeover part 2. I told the entire UFC fan base on the mic, I'm the future, I am inevitable, and I'm this close to prove.
Garry also reminds everyone that Bilal Muhammad isn't just some random opponent. He's the guy who knocked out Sean Brady and dominated Leon Edwards, so beating him, especially in style, would make a huge statement. Ian even adds that if he can finish Bilal faster than Jack Della Maddalena did, then no one will be able to deny that he's earned his shot at UFC Gold.
So from my point of view, I sought after a fight with Bilal first, because as I said, Bilal has knocked out number 2 in Sean Brady, and he has smashed number 3 in Leon Edwards. So when you smoke Bilal, it's obvious what comes next. Now, if I go out there and do that to Sean Brady, someone can have that argument, oh, but you haven't beat this guy and someone else, and I didn't want any of that. So for me, it actually works out better, Ariel, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. Have you been told, though, you beat Bilal, you're next?
When you knock out number 1 in the world, there is nothing else. When you knock out a former champion and who's number 1 in the world right now, and you smash him in less rounds than JDM could, then that's all that matters to me. I know I'm getting a world title fight after this.
Ian Machado Garry revealed he was originally penciled in to face Sean Brady at UFC Vancouver. Both men said yes, but the fight never happened when the UFC swapped the card and announced RDR versus Fluffy Hernandez as the headliner. Garry only realized the matchup was off when he saw the new main event drop, and he wasn't shy about calling out the mix-up, calling the rollout chaotic and unfair. Sean Brady is laser-focused. He says he'll keep grinding until a title shot is earned after being matched with number 8 Michael Morales. Brady thinks that beating Morales would make his case airtight. especially after already getting a win over Leon Edwards, and he wants the fights to do the talking, not the rankings. He adds that every win stacks his resume and fuels his hunger to be undisputed. Brady also claps back at how the UFC treats rankings, pointing out that the company often ignores positions when building cards. He insists that if he beats Morales, no one can argue he belongs in the title mix. He is a paid fighter who keeps showing up and wants the next big opportunity, and he is ready to prove it in the cage.
Doing so until he reaches his goal.
Once I beat him, I'm undeniable for the title shot after that.
Brother, why did you take this fight?
I took this fight because fighters fight, and there's literally no other options. From what the UFC told me, this is it. This is the only guy I could fight, or else I wasn't fighting until next year. And I've been trying to fight, and no matter what, we're going to have to fight all these guys regardless. Michael Morales is a great fighter. He's 18-0. He's going to be around for a long time. He's young. So I'm going to have to, whether I fight him now or I fight him later, I'm going to have to get to him eventually. So fuck it. I'll get him out of the way now. Coming off beating Leon, and then I go and I take this risk of fighting this young up-and-comer. Once I beat him, I'm undeniable for the title shot after that. And that's what I'm just going to prove to do. I'm just going to become undeniable until they have to give me the title shot.
Garry fires shots at Leon Edwards, saying maybe it is time for him to consider hanging up the gloves. Garry adds that if Edwards wanted a straight-up win or go-home fight, he'd take it in a heartbeat and expects to finish it convincingly. He makes it clear he has no interest in playing nice with Edwards or his camp, and he says he won't be shaking hands before or after. Garry goes on, "I've been saying this for a long time, right? Leon Edwards should be retired," and says he was surprised Edwards even took the Prates fight. He claims that if Edwards boxed him out, he'd leave the cage flat and payback would be the only lesson learned. No favors, no sympathy. Garry finishes by saying he won't be mingling with Edwards or his team, and that he'll be waving a Brazil flag for Carlos Prates on the 15th of November as Prates tries to shock Edwards in their showdown. And that is all from Pressure Point today. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment, letting us know which story stood out to you most. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.